What's up everyone, this is Firenacho here, bringing you a Protoss vs Protoss in Core City. I will be playing against the Ant-Man, and the speed will be at ×2. I will be going Air Toss, so yeah, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of background information, my thought process behind the game, and what you should look for. Things to do, things not to do, stuff like that. So we begin fairly a bit in at 4 minutes, around 3 minutes, 4 minutes to be exact. Not much going on, just a bit of setting up. What you want to start with for going Air Toss, which is very good in Protoss vs Protoss, is make sure you get your 2 gas up fairly early on. You also want your gateway research, your warp gate research. It's very important. It will help you defend. It will help with pushes later on. So as you can see, I'm basically getting my 1 gateway, 1 Stargate, and I'm opening up with a sentry. Following that, I get my 2nd Stargate. This helps you, it's kind of essential. It helps you build up Phoenix count. You could alternatively get Void Rays or Oracles out, depending on what you so desire. So I decide to start off with the early Oracle for the Harass. Now if you can see the pathing on it, let's follow that pathing for a second. I immediately go for my expand after that. First I check their expansion. I want to know if they're expanding. I do see that. Following that, I go and harass their main. I do see they have the mothership, and my Phoenix does arrive. It does a little poking. I don't manage to do the damage I wanted to do with that push, but that's fine. The objective of the Stargate opener is just to contain your enemy, prevent pushes so that your economy gets strong. So that's kind of the objective there. Following that, I get my 3rd warp gate, kind of essential, and I decide to warp in 2 more sentries. Now these sentries will help me defend in case he decides to poke out. Put a little force fields on my ramps, wait for stalkers, wait for my phoenixes to pull back. They're kind of crucial. So you can see I'm poking here and there, trying to get as much probe kills as I can. It's kind of essential, it's not needed. Kind of essential but not needed, what am I saying? Anyways, you can do it, but like the damage that has to be done doesn't have to be excessive. At least 5 probes is enough to like force a few photon cannons, which is what you want. You want to keep him contained, you want him to waste resources on defense rather than offense. So we'll see that he's placing those 2 cannons down now. I believe he'll place them at his expansion, leaving his main completely unprotected. Now I'm deciding to warp in a few zealots. I'm going to take down the rock so I can grab my 3rd, because I do feel comfortable with my map control. Those phoenixes and the oracle that does get sniped do provide that map dominance that I need. I can see when he's pushing out, so I can just recall, warp in a few more units if needed. I do have those 3 sentries. The tricky bit about Air Toss on Core City, though, is defending. Because as you can see, when we flick back to the 3rd, you don't have much options for defense-wise. Let's say your 3rd closest expansion, it has a very wide surface area, so any ground army can just kind of enter and your force fields aren't that effective for that much distance. As you can see, I'm picking off quite a lot of probes. He does come in with a stalker, so I'm forced to back away. Not a big deal. I'm keeping my objective, trying to keep him contained, make him feel that he has to be in his base. As you can see, I'm way ahead on the supply count. And in production count, I'm starting to get Void Rays. Now, Void Rays right now is a good option. They help clear out rocks for expansions. You can do so many things with Void Rays in Heart of the Swarm due to their plus the damage. I believe, or plus 2 armored units. And I believe stalkers are lightly armored, which makes them now pretty viable against stalkers. Hopefully we won't be seeing any mass Void Ray plays like in Wings of Liberty, but they are pretty useful in a ground army composition as well as Air Toss. As you can see, I'm primarily getting zealots. I don't feel the need to get stalkers at this point. Or not too many stalkers. You can see those photon cannons are defending his natural. I'm forced to back away. You don't want to sacrifice your Phoenix. They will come in They will come in, they will be handy later on in the game. Mainly for lifts and such. You'll see. You'll see. Let's not spoil it. Now, Tempests are what I'm transitioning into. You don't need that much. Around 3 to 4 is a good amount for a Protoss that's heavily defended. You can just snipe out pylons, you can snipe out cannons with your massive Tempest range. They're pretty handy, but I wouldn't go too crazy on them in a Protoss versus Protoss match. You want your Phoenix, Void Rays, and Ground Army as your staple damage dealers. So you can see I'm continuing to poke. This guy really left his main undefended, which was kind of his downfall, because my Phoenixes can just come in, poke, check out what he has. I do see that he has, I believe now that I see he has Void Rays. Yep, there I see it. Kind of forced to pull back though. Could have kept doing a bit more damage, but he did use that Mothership Core ability on the Nexus that turns it into a defensive structure. It's really handy. It's quite a good play by his part. You can see I'm continuing to slap on some more Phoenixes. I'm getting my air upgrades. Definitely the range upgrade as well for the Phoenixes is super handy. You can out micro Void Rays. We'll be seeing that a bit in a few moments. It does help. So you can see he flying around. I do see he has his third. It is secured by 3 photon cannons. I do back away. I'm not too concerned because my third was up before his. And I'm feeling quite comfortable in this position right now. I can easily grab my fourth, which I will be doing in a few moments. Let's see what else we can... There's a little APM stats. They're not crucial. Having high APM isn't signs of a good player necessarily. Now we do see the units tab. I do see that my army is a bit larger. I don't see it in the game. That'd be map hacking, which is quite bad and I frown upon. I'm kidding. People can do it if they want. Blizzard frowns upon it. It does make games really bad. Like, it sucks if someone is ghosting and it kind of ruins the game for you. So you shouldn't do it, people. It's bad. So yeah, my main's nearly mined out. I'm fine with that. I'm gonna go transition to my 4th base in a bit. As you can see, I'm starting to get ground upgrades. My opponent is going for the Mothership, which disappointingly does not much in this game, although it could be just he mismicroed and stuff like that. It's not the best option to go against Air Toss, that's for sure, as it can easily be sniped by Tempest, Void Rays, and Phoenixes, all that good stuff. So you can see I'm pushing out a bit. I do feel the need to finish my upgrades before attacking. It does give the advantage. If your opponent is behind on upgrades, and you've been picking off his probes, picking off his economy, his army will be significantly weaker than yours, and with the upgrades it'll just give you that much more of an advantage, both ground and air. You can see that was really crappy play by my part, sending those probes all the way there, but they do get sent back to the 4th base. Let's see what else we can deduct from this. So you don't want to put your forges in that particular location. It's kind of vulnerable. If my opponent had been moving out, pushing, he could have easily picked those off. We do see a Tempests and a few Stalkers pick off that one Phoenix. Kind of moving up, keeping my Phoenixes at the back. My Tempests and Void Rays take priority. As you can see here, he's also moving up. That's where the lifts come in handy, or they should in a few seconds. There we go. As you can see, Phoenixes are quite good in a Protoss versus Protoss composition if you do the lifts. You have to have a ground army backing them up. A few Void Rays and the Tempest certainly help. There's the opponent's Mothership. I'm going to try to micro bit back. Killing off the Tempest is a priority. Sniped off the Mothership, and now my Zealots have free reign over their Stalkers. Now here's where the Tempests come into play. They'll be able to pick off all these photon cannons, the enemy Tempest as well, and all with my ground army taking minimal damage, or theoretically it should, but I'm not that great of a player, so they do take some damage. At this point in the game, it does feel like I should be winning shortly. Here you can never get too cocky. And I do continue to slap on a few, an excess amount of Stargates later on, about 4 to 5. I mean, at this point, the enemy the Ant-Man could or could not do like a lot of damage. He could transition into Dark Templars, which would hurt me a bit, since I have no detection at all. However, it's not that crucial. Like, he could do it, but it won't do much, given my big army composition, my superior supply count, all that good jazz. I could easily just pop out an Oracle and defend against those Dark Templars, all that good stuff. So at this point it does look like I have taken the win, and I hope all that insight, there's the little Void Ray versus Phoenix microing, all that good stuff. It's not necessary if you want to be a good player and you're like a new player. Just practice your macro. That's all your unit production, just making sure you constantly build workers, constantly build units, making sure your upgrades are going, making sure your bases are fully operational, that there's 3 in gas, 3 in each mineral patch. And that's basically what you should be aiming for. Thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.